Hey guys, welcome to the new video of Spring. So in the past video, the last video that we have created, in that I have shown you how to set up a Maven project for Spring application. And now since you are already familiar, and I think that you have already done the steps which I have mentioned in order to set up a Maven project in your Eclipse, let's start creating a sample project. Okay. So basically, Spring has a wonderful feature because it's the Spring container which takes up the entire responsibility of creating an object and maintaining the life cycle of all those objects, which is mainly done by IOC, that is the inversion of control, which is like you are kind of outsourcing the features of object creation and the life cycle and the maintenance of those objects to a third party like the Spring container, who is taking all these responsibilities and giving you on the plate the object which you require. So there is no need for the developers to think of object creation and all those. That is one of the important aspects, and we are going to show in this video how that is to be done. So if you go inside this particular project, Spring Code Demo, inside src main Java, we are kind of creating a particular class. Say before that we create a class, say the class name is anything, it can be a data DAO or something like that. So it's taking some time to load. Yep. So let's create the class name as data DAO, and let this be within the package called com.application.say repository. Cool. So once this class is created, we'll be creating a very simple method, and we want to access that particular method from a different class without creating the object of this data DAO class, right? So fasten your seatbelt, we are going to learn something new today. So let's have a particular method called public void display, and it is having a method, say a very simple method it may have, which will print hello world, my first project of Spring. Cool. Now what we'll do is we'll be creating a class called client test, which will have this method called main, and let this be within com.application the root package. So let's save this up. Okay. Now there are normally two ways by which we can access the particular method of data DAO. Number one is we create an object. We create an object of data DAO and access the method, right? So it's like data DAO, and say I create like data, or rather let's make it as a bean equals to new data DAO. Okay, and we'll be accessing bean.display. So first let's see if it gives me the result that I'm looking for. Okay, cool, this is the one we're looking for. Okay, so this is the traditional way. So what we are going to do is we are going to comment this up because we want to do it using Spring. Okay, so let's write something like I prefer to do comments so that anyone gets to understand what we are trying to do. So in the Spring way, so the first thing that we would like to do over here is we have to create a file, okay, which we will name as application context.xml. Since we are creating this for the first time, in fact, and we are developing it using an XML approach. Once we are done with this, we'll shift to Java configuration and annotation based approach. So let's first learn how to implement using XML, because there has been a lot of legacy applications in different IT project which still runs on XML. So we need to understand how it is to be done. So application context dot XML, right? So if I go inside the application context, I need to go to the source. Okay, since it's an XML file, there is one thing we need to understand first of all, is that there is certain way by which we need to make Spring understand that this is gonna be our Spring configurations, right? So we'll copy from docs Spring, we will copy this XML version beans DTD, the schema, okay, and whatever object we require, normally we'll be creating a beans out of it. Normally, what is a bean? A bean is or can be considered as a Pojo based, okay, a plain old Java object, but it's kind of a bean will have an ID and a class, and there can be certain parameters or like attributes and the getter and setters and different methods rather. So in order in order to make Spring understand that we need to create an object, and Spring will maintain all those objects life cycle, so we need to ensure that we define all the beans over here, okay. So like if I need to access data DAO in my client test, I need to create an object, but I want Spring to create that object, right? So for that I need to create a bean of data DAO. So what I'll do is I'll create something called a bean, okay, and say I create the bean ID as data DAO, and I have a class, okay. The class is, if I go to data DAO, I need to select this, and I need to find the qualified name with the package structure, okay, and I'll put that. Cool. Now I'll go to this client test, and the first thing, okay, here also we'll do step by step. Number one, we need to load the Spring container, that is normally application context. So the class or the interface which helps me to load the configuration is known as, any idea guys? Yes, application context. Application context, this is an interface, okay. So the class will be class path XML application context, and here we need to provide the path or the location where the container is present. So normally we have it in our class path, and that's why it is within this source. If you see, it's there within or inside the source main Java directory. So we can directly write application context.xml, else we would have to mention the entire path where it is present, right? Now number two is we need to load the beans, okay. So the class that I need is data DAO. So what I can do is I can use the context dot, there's a method called get a bean, okay, and now here we are telling the Spring container that, hey Spring, please provide me the bean whose ID I am going to provide here. So if I provide the ID as data DAO, Okay, so kind of I'm telling bean, the spring, that spring provide me the bean of data DAO, and the type of the bean should be, it's like data DAO dot class. Cool. And we'll be assigning it to a local variable, and then we'll be accessing the method, right? That is bean dot display. Let's say, but before we run, the other option is, or rather it's very important that we need to close the Spring container. Okay, that is the context. Now if I write context dot close, sorry, now if I write context dot close, it's not going to show me the method. Why? Because context is reference variable for this interface application context, right? So what I need to do is I need to create a context, and it's a type of application context. I think it should be, class path XML application context. Right. So we're casting the context in the form of class path application XML application context, and we are closing the context. Now let us run this particular application. Cool. So we can see that the same output we are getting, but here we do not have to create the object of the particular class. Rather, we are defining the beans in a file called application context, and there itself we are mentioning the beans that we need, and the reference of this ID, or the ID rather, we are considering while we are creating the object or creating the instance of the Spring container, loading the Spring container, and then asking the Spring to get the bean of the class that we are looking forward, and then we can access the method. Here I want to show you one more thing before we wrap this session. I know it's going a bit lengthy, but still, normally when we create a bean, the type is a singleton. Singleton means if I make thousands of requests, there will be a single object and a single instance of the object that will be used for that multiple requests. No new object will be created, right? I'll show you what I'm trying to mean over here. Say I create another object of data DAO, and I say it's bean1 equals to, let this be the same. Okay, so I have two instances now, or rather I shouldn't say it's two instances, rather I would say I have two variables. One is bean and another one is bean1, right, which is both referring to data DAO. And what I'll do is I will say, okay, and I'll check something like, boolean result equals to bean equals to bean1. So as I said initially, that singleton nature of bean, by default bean is always singleton, so this is a singleton, so only one object will be created. So when I call this particular line number 23, what happens is a new bean gets created. But when I'm referring to line number 25, it's referring to the same memory location in which this object is created. So no new memory location is being added, okay, or is being created, okay. No new object is created. So if I go to the result and I say, are both the objects equal? So can you tell me what should be the answer? Yes, it should be true, right? Let's see it. Cool. So initially it's showing me the first display, right? And the second, are both the objects equal? It's showing true. It's showing only true. That means these two objects are equal or same because we are using singleton. Now, if I want to change that, for every request, a new object needs to be created. So how can I do that, right? So there is something called scope, and over here we'll use the word called prototype. Now if I save this, and if I now run this particular project, you'll see, are both the objects equal? False, because right now, since we provided the scope as prototype, what is happening is, for line number 23 an object is getting created, for line number 25 another object gets created. So both the objects are never equal. So it's not equal due to prototype nature, okay. So this is how we have created a very basic utilization of Spring in order to understand that how Spring handles object, and we do not need to create the object from our side. It's the Spring who is going to take up all this responsibilities and maintaining. So creation and maintenance of the objects is being taken care by Spring Container. So this is the first. In the going ahead series, we'll be going to understand dependency injections and we'll go into the depth. So as of now, for first few lessons, we'll go with this XML kind of approach even for dependency injections, and then we'll move to configuration based, and we'll move to annotations based, and there also we'll touch base how this complete thing can be done using annotations and all. So stay tuned till that. Happy learning. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much.